I see people who have waited a long time for their Christmas morning, and I get to
Right.
enjoy that with them. And yeah, sure, it doesn't always go perfect, and everybody's a little different in how they process their emotions, and sometimes golf gets the best of us. But for the most part, I get to see people at their absolute best, having the time of their life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Jonathan, how's it going?
It's been a Monday already, but you get to
Yeah.
meet new people on the podcast, and so that helps out a little bit. But yeah, it was a Monday morning before I joined into this new chat.
Man, it helps out a lot meeting new people. Ross Steidel, we got to chat with him today. Ross Golf Company making just incredible head covers that I highly will recommend. And I'm on his behalf, I'm going to reach out to folks that I know at different places and say, this needs to be in your golf shop because they are that good. So, and honestly, I've seen him in person once. I saw him at the Power Built booth down at the PGA show and got to actually see and touch the head covers. They are that good, but just hearing his story, listening to him, like I'm sold. Like I think he has put his heart into this thing, and only wants to do it because he has a passion for it and it wants it to be good. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm energized by stuff like that, man.
I think meeting one of the most authentic human beings that I've been around in a long time. Like just in terms of who he is, how he's grounded, how he views life, business, all that kind of stuff. It was refreshing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's an incredible caddy as well, out at Bain and Dunes. So
And not a
that's
bad
pretty cool.
golfer.
That's pretty cool. Just, it's hard to believe he does not look like he's our age. He looks much younger, but has been in the golf world for, what do you say, 30 years now?
30 plus years, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool story. Y'all are going to really enjoy this one, but I highly recommend checking out Ross Golf Company. We are brought to you, as always, by our friends at Summit Golf Brands, the B-Dratty, Zero Restriction, Fairway and Green. They make incredible stuff. We talk about them all the time, and they're kind to give you, our listeners, discount 20% off on your order. So if you use BestBall 20 at any of their websites, you can get their stuff. Their spring stuff's out. I know they're working hard on the fall things that are coming out. And we'll be here before we know it, even though we are starting to get a little hotter here in the southeast. But it's good. I mean, stuff like this cool fabric stuff, this cool shirt from B-Dratty is perfect for this time of year. Throw in the lightweight vest because it's everyday vest, Jonathan. What do you do with an everyday vest?
You wear it every day. Yes.
You wear it every day. Well, either this or my TKO hoodie, which
yeah,
that's getting a little warmer, but yeah. So anyway, y'all enjoy, and hope you do like this conversation with Ross from Ross Golf Company. All right, our guest on the Whole Story Podcast, Mr. Ross Steidel. Ross, I appreciate you waking up early. I know, man, you're a caddy. You're probably used to this, but 8 o'clock in the morning start time for you. Not as early, late morning for Jonathan and I, but thanks for joining us today.
It is my absolute pleasure to see you guys first thing in the morning.
No, well, I got to start with this. You have to have the best mustache of any guest that we've had so far.
Well, that's nice of you
on the podcast. Are you holding? Oh, okay, a dog, not a head cover.
No.
Gotcha. Who's the dog?
This is Teddy.
Hey, Teddy.
Teddy is 8 months old. Doesn't know any boundaries. He's a Jack Russell Terrier, and his sister Billy is 3 year old. They're brother and sister, full blood. Yeah, Bill and Ted. We got a Bill and Ted. So anybody
Very
who's old
nice.
enough to know knows.
Yep. Well, this just turned into a dog and movie podcast for sure.
Get out of here, guy. Get out of here.
But Ross, it's awesome to have you on. We have been following what you've been doing for a while, both from a caddying perspective, but also what you're doing with Ross Golf Company. But let's just start with golf and you and how that all began. Did you grow up playing?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think everybody, uh, how do you start to describe it? It all starts so different for so many people depending on how old you are. I was 12 years old, kind of at the end of my little league career, and I found skateboarding and like kind of like solo endeavors seem to call to me a little bit more than team sports. So Grandpa had a set of Northwestern blades in the closet, and I set up a net that we had in the closet in the front yard, started banging balls into them, and then 3 years later, I was on the high school golf team, which was not cool, in 1996, and yeah, and off it went. I got a job at the local club, scrubbing clubs when I was 15, and I'm 45 now, and I've been gainfully employed in the golf business for 30 years now, which is something I never thought I'd say, at 45, especially doing anything for 30 years. But yeah, golf has been with me, along with rock and roll for a very, very long time. It's the two things that have kind of always been there for me. So I'm thankful for everything it's given me. And as you know, golf has had good times and bad times. It is so nice to see golf on such a major upswing right now, and so much fresh, fresh faces in the game, and people finally get it. Something I've been trying to like crying from the rooftops forever. How amazing of a test is it daily to go out and figure out who you are that day in the game of golf, to expose your weaknesses and your strengths. And it's so cool that it's out there, and it's so cool that I'm still doing this, and that I've made a career out of doing it. So yeah, very, very blessed.
To be fair, you're not still scrubbing golf clubs, right? Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
not
oh yeah,
from 15.
part of the job, man.
talk about talk about the different things that you now do besides just scrubbing golf clubs since you turned 15.
um. Oh, geez. I have done just about everything to get playing privileges except for mow the grass, in 30 years. Um, so grew up working at the local club that involved scrubbing golf clubs and staging carts. I can park carts with the best of them. I could pick a mean range. I could fix a golf cart battery connection pretty easily. Um, I moved west when I was 19 years old, moved to Scottsdale, and I worked at a couple clubs out there doing guest services, and scrubbing clubs out there. That got me to Breckenridge for a couple of years, and then on to Hawaii. I was in Hawaii for about 15 years, and I got a job at Kapalua, which is when I started my starter and marshaling career, which is what I did for a few years to get playing privileges. They had a caddy program out there that had kind of like, I don't know what the right word is, but it had just kind of gone out of function. And I'd been there for probably 4 or 5 years before one of the head pros, or one of the assistants, decided that he wanted to revive this. It was his like assistant golf pro pet project, is that he wanted to create a caddy program at Kapalua. The problem with Kapalua is that there's just not a lot of people there, and those people there, most of them are not qualified. So you don't have a deep hiring pool of people who are qualified to tell people how to hit it around. Me and probably three or four other guys kind of ruled that roost for about 10 years before I moved on to Seattle, and then now down to Bandon. So yeah, I've been caddying for about half of my 30 years.
But you said you were in the starter and marshal world, but you're not 70. So
Yeah.
like you might be the youngest starter and or marshal in the history of the game though, right?
Guys, do what you got to do to play free golf, but man, that was rough. That was really, really,
Yeah.
yeah. Resort starter is not it for anybody out there looking to make $12 an hour. There's easier ways. And then marshaling sounds great. Um, you're spinning a cart around one of the most beautiful golf courses on the planet. But I tell you what, I found
You're the bearer of bad news though.
nobody's
Yeah,
ever
you're just
happy to
fighting with
see you.
drunk people.
Yeah,
No
nobody's
one
ever
wants to see the
happy to see
marshal
you.
rolling up slow. Yeah.
So I had to find alternative ways to entertain myself when I was out there, and I'll let you kind of take that take that for
There you
what
go.
it is.
Well, you've been looping at Bandon for a while now, right? So talk to us about just that's on the top of so many people, including Jonathan and I's bucket list of places to go, and you've been there for a number of years, just in kind of golf heaven, right? Just beautiful place, incredible courses. What has that experience been like?
You know, they say that everything gets old. Even paradise will get old after a while. There's so many ways to answer this question. but the first thing that I'll say is that a lot of people think that caddies get jaded after a while, and a lot of them do. Um, if making somebody happy doesn't make you happy in some direct or indirect way, you're probably in the wrong business. Um, I think that I'm lucky to have whatever gene that is. Um, I've never seen anything as amazing as Bandon Dunes, and I like to think that I'm a pretty well-traveled golfer. Um, it is. I just got back from Scotland, and in America, we don't have a lot to reference links golf to. Luckily, I do here. And I played some of the top tier golf courses in Scotland, and I came back to Bannon and I played Old Mac in the evening. And um, Old Mac just might be the best golf course I've ever played, and that's it's really reassuring to know that the rendition of links golf that Mike Kaiser did out here is so spot on. Because you know, we all know it's good. You read the magazines, you see the videos, you know it's good. But once you compare it to the real thing, you realize how good it actually is. And so I guess that's one way to answer the question. The golf is fantastic. I see people who have waited a long time for their Christmas morning, and I get to
Right.
enjoy that with them. And yeah, sure, it doesn't always go perfect, and everybody's a little different in how they process their emotions, and sometimes golf gets the best of us. But for the most part, I get to see people at their absolute best, having the time of their life. That's something that as long as my body will allow it, I'll continue to do until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, at least on the first tee, everyone's excited to be there. Maybe by the time
Yeah,
you make the turn, you're like, I'm so frustrated with this place and golf itself that,
it,
but I
it's
mean, again, you talk about it on that first tee, that expectation. Bandon is, for some would be like the once in a lifetime trip. You're probably there with people that you at least enjoyed whenever you thought about creating the trip. So since we haven't experienced it, which first hole, if you're telling someone to come out and play, what's the first hole that everyone should try to play to like really fulfill that first hole experience?
the opening tee shot in the morning light at Old McDonald, I think, is one of the most fabulous looks. It is the most classic. Um, it's just gorgeous, and Old Mac, I think, stands alone in my mind as the perfect golf course. Just because you go from a modern parking lot with a snack shack and a well-stocked pro shop, and it seems like you've walked back in time 100 years. The 100 yards from the pad to the first tee really does seem like a time portal. So like that's the most biblical, that baptismal feeling. But I can also see the opening tee shot at Sheep Ranch being that. Be kind of up and over once you get 200 yards from the first tee and you're looking down at the ocean, the single ghost tree on the right corner of the first green, and pretty much the expanse of the golf course and the entire resort to yourself is it's pretty amazing. I wouldn't recommend this as a caddy, but if you played a 7 a.m. round and a 4 p.m. round at Bandon, if I were to ever do 36, that's how you want to see it because it's almost a shame to tee off at noon when the sun's right above you. You got to have the light low on the horizon so you're seeing the contours and the mounding all light up, and that golden hour is just something special, whether it be in the morning or in the evening. It's yeah,
That sounds
it's so special.
perfect.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have been out here or not, but you guys can
Not yet.
We haven't.
crash on my couch if you
We
need to. You got to come see it.
We're coming.
we have had a chance to play links golf at Karn as the sun rose. Like, no, the pro shop wasn't open. They accommodated a couple caddies to come back out, and I think our tee time was 7 a.m. Like we got to the course just before, so that sounds special.
Did you
That
find it strange
sounds
in Scotland that the golf shops didn't open until 9 o'clock in the morning? I mean, I don't know if that was
yeah.
like just us in March, but every golf course that we went to, yeah, the golf shop. I just I found it strange. Just let you know that
Yeah.
Americans are
Yeah.
go-getters, I guess.
Well, tell us about your trip. I was
Yeah.
following along with some of your journeys.
Man, it was painful at times, and also it was one of the best trips I've ever taken. So the the catalyst of the trip, we were kind of forced to go there, which sounds a little confusing. Um, so I'm in this transition between Roscoe having been like this kind of fun hobby where buy fabric, I make them for my friends. They tell me it was great. They tell me to keep going. And then I actually decided to listen to them and we went for it. And direct to consumer stuff, there's a lot of kids out there that are way better with computers and algorithms than I am. They make better videos than me. So they've got this kind of plug to talk directly to consumers. I don't think that I have that gift. So what I do have is access to, over the years, many, many members at high-end clubs who can kind of plug you in if you need to. So that and a million other reasons, decided that wholesale was the way, if we were going to do this for real, was going to be the avenue that we were going to pursue. So I enacted a 6-month plan to kind of get on some radars, to make up a nice media kit, and to kind of like get people to trust me that I wasn't just blowing smoke and I was going to make them good stuff. And with that promise, with all those promises included Harris Tweed and this amazing amount of this amazing material that I sourced directly from the Isle of Lewis and Harris in Scotland. And you get 10 or 11 clubs to say, all right, let's go, show me what you got. And then you call your mill that you've been working with for a couple of years and they say, hey, your tariff situation's too dicey for us to navigate. We can't actually get you the tweed. DHL's not shipping. They don't know what to charge you. They're on the hook for customs. Sorry about it, kid. Uh, Kenny Rogers said you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And we did not fold. So we decided that we were just going to buy plane tickets and go get the stuff ourselves. And I quickly realized that I needed a buddy to go with me for suitcase space. And me and my mate Jay went over there and we packed back 170 pounds of tweed successfully. We somehow did not
That's awesome.
we did not pay $1 in duty, although we declared everything, which was just another small win on the way out. So the trip ended up fantastic. The first 3 days were us flying to Edinburgh, being jet lagged out of our mind, driving 4 hours to catch a 4-hour ferry to get to the Isle of Lewis in the middle of nowhere. And then, picking out the 53 patterns that we had like kind of pre-bought, plus a whole bunch of other things and running around. It was stressful. And I didn't have my wits about me. So it was, as amazing as it was a little rough until we actually got the fabric into the car. And then once that happened, we started playing golf. Everything was all good. And we did a really, really nice circle through the country. And we'll be going back in October because it was so good. Everybody's so nice there.
Are you going back to buy more, or are you going back just because you need like an actual vacation of golf?
Yes and yes.
All right.
Yeah, we played 4 magnificent rounds of golf out there. And in those 4 rounds, we befriended a lot of people. Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of stones left unturned over there. And we will. I mean, if we can get that same sweet deal where we don't have to pay duty on the way back in, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to go back and at least get another batch. We were able to haul back like a season's worth of tweed. So the trip almost paid for itself, just the way that we had it set up. So um, I've never met a nicer group of people than the Scots, and everything's 600 years old over there. The architecture is incredible. The coffee's good. I don't have a lot of complaints. I think the place is amazing.
Yeah, we agree. So let's back up though. Like, when did Ross Golf Coast, like, when did that start? Like, how did you say, all right, I've been doing all this other stuff in golf, I'm caddying. You know what? I'm going to make some tweed head covers. Like, was it because you were getting tired of pulling off really bad head covers and you're like, there has to be something better?
Yeah, I wish there was one thing that I don't know how to answer this question. Um, and I think about it all the time. Like, how did I get here? Uh, it depends on how far back you want to go. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and it's an old part of the country. And I grew up with my grandfather and my granduncles. My great grandfather's house is right around the corner from the house that I grew up in, which is my grandfather's house. They're all antiquers. There's just been old stuff around me forever. So I guess I'll just kind of start there. I like old stuff. Old stuff is good in my mind. It's a testament to quality that's still around. Um, so I guess there's the foundation. I ended up on a sailboat for a few years with my wife, full time. You learn how to sew on a sailboat. You learn how to do everything on a sailboat because nobody else is going to do it for you. Um, that kind of got me keen on sewing machines. Um, and then, I gotta tip my hat to Seamus because when I got here, I was like, oh, those are cool. And then the next question that any capitalist asks themselves is, how do I make this better? And I'm not trying to say anything, but I was just like, what's my version of this? I see that in the past 10 years, people have gone from just taking their stock title as head covers and it's gone somewhere. There's something more than that now. What is my contribution to this? Um, I kind of took that and kind of took Seamus's stuff caught my eye. And again, like I thought, how can I? What's my contribution to this? At the same time, my wife had I had been here for about a year, and it wasn't for her. So we were trying to figure out how we could kind of split time between Bandon, where we made all of our money, and somewhere where there's a little bit more social stimulation for her. We decided to move to Ashland. Ashland's about 3 hours from here. It's a little hippie town in Southern Oregon. My wife is a shoe in there. So we move her over there and myself by proxy over there full time. I'm left living in employee housing half of the year here. So for 7 to 10 days out of the month, I'd be sitting in a cabin with nothing to do except for caddying. And so I brought my sewing machine over and I've had a stock of Pendleton blankets. We've hauled them around for years and I decided to cut a few of them up and to try my hand. And the first few were rough, and then you kind of figure out your process, and then I guess that's kind of ties into where we started the conversation. Guys tell you they're good and that I should keep going, and I just kept going, and here we are.
Man, what great encouragement from people that has said keep going and you need to do this because yeah, you're doing some awesome stuff. So, when was that? Like, when was kind of the first one that you threw together? How long ago?
3.5, yeah, 3 years ago, probably.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
man. Well, then you're crushing it already.
thank you. Well,
Yeah. So on your trip to Scotland, was that your first time there?
yeah.
Okay. What did you learn, or what was something that maybe was unexpected that you can now take and apply to what you're doing to help you move forward?
I think I've got some legitimacy finally that I've actually been to where I bought Harris Tweed before ever went to Scotland, so you feel like a bit of a poser. I have a better connection to where the stuff comes from, because Harris Tweed itself is one of three collections that we offer. We've got the old timey one, which is the Highlands collection that focuses on the Scottish Tweed. Until you go over there and you meet the weavers and you realize how much of a part of their ecosystem is, at least on the Isle of Harrison Lewis, that stuff is everything. That is the economic driver for that entire population of people. And to see the thought, care, and effort that they put into making this, the history and the color patterns that they have selected, the mills that have been open for 120 years, employing people over there, and just the authority that the people who make sure that it's all being maintained properly and made to a certain standard. It's really it's cool. We like to think as America made as always being the best, but I tell you what, the Scots are right there with us. They're making quality stuff over there. So I guess understanding the process and knowing how much goes into it, um, and how they're not so money driven over there. It's nice. It's nice to see that people do the right thing for the right reasons instead of just for profiteering. It's a bit refreshing, you know. Yeah, it's nice to again, it's nice to see people do things the right way for the right reasons, and it's nice to see people pass that torch from one generation to another. You've got mothers and daughters out there that are weaving this stuff. You've got people who've been doing it for multiple generations. It's just kind of cool to see something that affects a community as much as Harris Tweed affects that island. I hope that answers your question
How are
well.
you?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. How are you picking the color schemes? I'm colorblind, so anytime you're going to show me some sort of pattern that's greenish and blue and all the things, I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. But we interviewed someone who's into that whole world from Scotland, and like they explain that the different colors actually share different stories in the history of that. So are you coordinating with the 10 or 11 courses that you've worked with to pick out their particular color pattern, or is this just more of something that's original from that island?
So Harris Tweed does. I think everybody knows what a tartan is. A tartan is kind of like a
Mhm.
family moniker or a family color pattern. Harris Tweed doesn't. They do contemporary versions of those. So they kind of riff on a Mackenzie or a McLeod tartan, but they won't make the exact replica of it. What Harris Tweed does a good job of doing is kind of looking at the landscape and then picking colors together that kind of represent where the sky meets the water or where like the rocky hillside meets a stream. That seems to be kind of their inspiration. If you look at Harris Tweed Everdee's Instagram, they do that really, really well, where they'll take a pattern and they'll throw it up and then they'll put a picture in the next slide over to understand where they've inspired one another. Um, to me, my mom was in textiles. I think it's all in the DNA. I don't know what else to say. I just feel like I got a good eye for this stuff. Um, and I think the type of golf courses that we work at have merchandising managers that are very, very invested in what they buy for their membership. We found great success with high-end privates. So maybe they're not as wrapped up in the profit margins as your average golf course needs to be to keep the lights on. They've got money to burn. So when you're working with Maidstone or you're working with Beverly, they're a bit more willing to jump on the phone and talk with you through exactly what their vision is. And they actually have a vision outside of the spreadsheet that tells them that they're doing a good job or not. Those are the type of people I can work well with because they're a bit more emotionally invested and I'm emotionally invested and together we have good conversations that don't really have any sort of like there's no plan. You just kind of talk it out. I make recommendations to them. They like them or they don't. They go into the website, they pick out things that they like. It makes it easy when you're going over to Scotland to just pick it up for them. But again, in year like 2 of wholesale, we're still trying to figure out workflow. Hopefully we'll have that figured out in the next half a year or so. But if I went to get a tattoo, I wouldn't tell the tattoo artist exactly what to do, right? I kind of give them an idea and
Right.
trust that they've got the talent to kind of pull off their version of it. I don't want to like call myself an artist by any means, but I think that there's a certain amount of trust that I develop with my accounts where um, I think that they know for the most part I'm going to create a quality product for them, and any input that they give me, I'll take to heart.
I love the quote you have, and this kind of ties to it. The quote on your website. I feel it a duty to share my relationship to the game in whatever sense a head cover can. So expound on that a little more. Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh man, you can't put it into words. The golf course, it's always there. I think that's also part of the quote. Like, I don't know how many times I've walked around a golf course. It's in the thousands. And I've walked them with different peoples and different moods, in varying levels of sobriety or lack thereof. I've seen it in rain and sleet and snow, and I've seen it in sun, and I've seen rainbows and puddles on the green, and but it's always there and it's always dressed up a little different, but the golf course is just always there. And it's we I've got 2 dogs, and I've had a dog that's 15 years old. The dog's always there for you and you don't know how to explain that love that you have for them. It's just like something that you depend on, your rock, something that you can come back to every day and know that it's always going to be there for you and it's always going to be stoked to see you. And I feel like the golf course has just been the 30-year version of that for me. Um, One of the first things I said is that golf is great because it lets you know where you are every day. How willing to struggle with a bad shot are you? How clearly are you thinking? How physically balanced are you? How mentally focused are you? This is my litmus to let me know where I am every day, whether I'm reading putts for somebody else or I'm out there playing myself. Um, it's just I can't put it into words. It's just nice to know that the golf course is always going to be there for me. I wish I could tell you what's in my heart, not what's coming out of my mouth.
No, I hear what's coming out of your heart. Don't worry. It's really cool. You're crushing the head cover stuff. Do you have plans to expand besides that?
It's parabolic right now. I I,
Yeah.
I don't think I can expand any harder.
Yeah.
we
Just find your spot and keep going.
It's a domino effect with this. I we've kind of made the commitment that private golf courses they're just set up for what we do really, really well. And again, with my access to other caddies who have access to the members and the members that I know myself, it seems like this is going to be the direction we're going to continue to go. And since we can't figure out marketing on our own for direct to consumer, we feel that being in the right golf shops is the best form of marketing possible. So, for right now, we're just going to really focus on I think we've got 22 accounts right now and making sure that they stay happy. And then with the understanding that that number will likely double between now and next year and then double again. And then I think we're kind of at our limit. We don't ever want to sacrifice the quality. Caddy Crafted is something that you'll see all over our website. And I don't want that just to be a catchy slogan. My wife is a caddy at the resort. My mate Jay, my business partner, is also a caddy, as am I. My buddy Andrew, who helps me in the shop, is a caddy. The guy who takes care of my website is a caddy. We want to make sure that we keep this as true to the foundation of a bunch of caddies who are
Uh,
handy with the sewing machine, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
What a skill set. You didn't know your caddy could also operate a sewing machine. So
pretty good.
that's a great skill set.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can do that, they can definitely read putts for sure.
You'd like to think, you know. So,
Yeah. Well, the problem is then the player having to make those putts. But anyway, well, this is exciting, man. It's really cool, and like we've talked, and got to hang out a little bit down at the PGA show. You were down there with the Power Built guys, doing your thing. You've done some incredible work for them. So we're excited to figure out how we can continue help telling your story and maybe getting you in front of one or two more of these clubs so you can keep doubling that every year. That'd be great.
well,
But yeah, I was gonna say, well, we do want to get back to your game because you said you started doing stuff to figure out how to get the opportunity to play more golf. So let's ask this question: what is the story of your most memorable golf shot?
oh man, it may have just happened last week.
All right,
So,
let's hear it.
if you've ever been to the Oregon coast, Bandon Dunes casts a very, very large shadow on all of the other golf courses around here, which is a shame because the Oregon coast is full of fantastic golf. And about an hour and a half north of here, I don't know if this is the greatest shot ever. It's just the one that I can draw from memory. But an hour and a half north of here is a golf course called Sand Pines. Sand Pines is a Reese Jones design from the mid 90s. Back before Links Golf was cool, Reese built an absolute dime in Florence, Oregon. I'd recommend anybody that can get there to go play the golf course. It is better than you can imagine. Um, my handicap sits at a 4, which it's good. But the guys that I work with in the caddy shack, there's a bunch of guys who don't play golf at all, but the guys who do play golf are really, really good. And when you get the invite to play with these guys, you just kind of hope that you show up because at a 4 handicap, you're just as capable of shooting 85 as you are shooting 68. So I got the invite to play with 3 pretty good players who are friends of mine. But again, you're always kind of nervous that you're not going to pull your weight as the high handicapper in the group. The putter was working, boys. The putter was working, and we got to 17. And, it seems like if you have a plus handicap, I guess it also develops some sort of like addiction to gambling because we've got like 8 bets out on 17, and I think we're even on 4 of them, and we're like 4 up on the other one, and it's coming down to it. 17's a par 3 over water. It's 170 yards or something like that. I'm playing against 2 guys. The first guy knocks it to a foot. And, of course they had just pressed us. And so I hit my tee ball out to the right. I don't have the distance these guys do. So I go around the water. I leave myself with a 55 footer. And the other guys get on the green. I'm first to putt. He's 6 inches from the cup. So it's already in. I hit this putt that goes left, right, up, down, and does everything in between and just comes to rest right on the back edge of the cup. And it sits there like Tiger at the Masters when he chipped in 2012, whenever it was. And it sat there for like 2
Yeah.
seconds and then just fell in. Crowd went wild. I ended up birdieing 18 to push everything. I made $15 the hard way. And man, oh man, that is an absolute fortune on a golf course to me. So that's my greatest shot
What a
recently.
finish.
It was awesome.
What a finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And to do it with some friends, like you said, you're holding up your end of the bargain.
Your boy's legit. 44 years old, still pulling his weight out there.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
I'd be like, well, I didn't hit it in the water, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah.
Even if I missed the 3-foot putt.
I also didn't hit it in the water. Very important.
Did you give him the 6-inch putt, or did you make him finish that out?
Gotta putt it, dude. Gotta putt it. Gotta putt it. We do closies on all the par threes out here, so I mean, it's funny as a caddy, you see there's varying levels of giving on a golf course, and it seems like the higher a handicap, the bigger their hula hoop is. So tell you what, you play with these guys here that carry plus handicaps, and you're not going to get anything, from the 2 to 3 foot. You're putting them every single time out here for $5 is an absolute stack of gold coins on a golf course to me. So yeah, you got to putt it.
Recent professional golf has lost tournaments because of a 2.5, 3-foot putt. So
yeah,
not always as easy as they look.
Yeah, they miss them.
I'm too nice. I'll give you those putts. Maybe I'll make you make the birdie putts. But
Robbie usually starts giving me about 4 or 5-foot putts whenever I'm already somewhere around 90 something on hole 12 or 13. He's like, you know what? Just don't let's not get angry anymore than what we already are. So we'll just keep moving on. Give him the putt.
Yeah, you might
We're sure to have fun.
Appreciate that.
Rule number one.
Have fun.
Rule number one. Thank you for saying that. You were saying earlier, people want to come out here and shoot the rounds of their lives. Varying levels of expectation on the first hole. Man, you can't lose sight that you are truly out here to hang with your friends in one of the most amazing environments on the planet, and having fun is absolutely paramount. And you ain't that good. Everybody out there's not that good, including myself.
Yeah.
Including everybody watching this. Let's go out there and have a good time.
I have lost my golf swing in the last month. I went out and played on Friday, and I was so bad. The guy I was playing with, I'm just going to play wherever your drive ends up. Like, I'm not even going to bother. I end up holding like a 30-yard putt from 20 yards off the green. But there was no way in the world I was hitting any shot other than a putter the rest of the day. I played like 4 holes, just putter. It's like, never mind.
Just looking for moments. We had a good time. Yeah, you're just looking for moments of greatness, right?
We had a great time. We were able to hang out and enjoy the Friday afternoon.
We are choosing to do this activity, so might as well have fun with it.
At least it's expensive, right?
That's true.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we do this thing called a quick 9. Jonathan, you want to kick us off here with some questions?
Yep. All right. First question, and I think you might have already given it to us. Other than McDonald, what is the favorite course that you've played?
Best golf course I ever played. Oof. I'm a sucker for CV's work. I'm also a sucker for a good Tillinghast Baltimore Country Club. Ooh, God.
Nice.
Robert Trent Jones Golf Club also.
Nice. All right. What course is at the top of the bucket list?
I haven't played Potha yet, which is kind of getting under my skin a little. Ballyneal. And
how far away is that from you?
9-10 hours. I mean, I make that drive down to Northern California all the time. I just, the industry rate out there, if anybody's watching from Potha, is not great. So hook your boy up. I'll bring you some head covers.
There you go.
That's great.
I love it.
What is your favorite course that no one knows about?
Oh, Sandpines in Florence, Oregon. That and Breckenridge Golf Course up in Breckenridge, Colorado. It's only good 4 months out of the year, but it's Nicholas's best work. And say what you will about him as an architect. He built 3 nines that are absolutely fantastic.
Nice. Okay, who's in your dream foursome?
Who's in? I've answered this question a million times. Who is in my dream foursome? Ben Crenshaw, Freddie Couples, and Larry Mize.
Man, what a classic group.
Yeah.
I love
all
it.
pleated pants, every single one of them. Including myself.
There you go.
Pleated pants. All right. What has been your favorite snack that you've ever had at the turn?
Yeah, I haven't done the Fisher's Island peanut butter and jelly. Who does the sandwich dog or the burger dog? Is that Olympic? I haven't had that either.
Olympic, yeah.
I'm going to go really vanilla. Mike Kaiser's from Chicago. He makes a hell of a I don't know who makes the hot dogs at Bandon Dunes, but they're one of the best hot dogs ever. And I hate to be that guy who just says hot dog, but I love me a good hot dog, and Bandon Dunes has the best.
What do you put on your hot dog? It's not a true Chicago hot dog, right?
No, mustard and onions, dude. And anybody who puts that red stuff on there can get out of here.
I'm 100%
Get
with
out
you.
of here.
What Bandon came up? Y'all came up with the protein balls, right?
Yeah. You know, thank you for saying that too, because I post about my abs. I'm doing my best to not take in so much sugar these days, but the Bandon Dunes chocolate chip cookie is absolutely elite. It is, it maybe that is, if I could somehow erase the hot dog and just throw in chocolate chip cookie from Bandon Dunes, they make me so happy.
Might as well take both.
Yeah.
As they should,
Yeah.
right? When you're putting from 30 feet off the green, maybe you just need a cookie. And so, Jonathan, let's go.
That's all I need.
That's all I need. All right. Favorite golf course logo?
Of course. It's a good one. Wish you would have given me this ahead of time.
Oh, man. It's better off the top of your head.
The best golf course logo. You know, I like Macrahanish's golf course logo. Macrahanish is in Campbelltown in Scotland. It's one of them birds. I love me a good bird. Love me a good tree. The Macrahanish bird it's not quite a sandpiper, but it's a black and white bird with an orange beak and like orange feet. It's just it's classic. It's one of them 150-year-old ones. But I could probably think of one better if you had given me this ahead of time.
That's all right.
Macrahanish
Old,
it is.
old
Your
birds
boy,
work.
your boy at Wildwood, Ryan, they got a pretty good logo.
Why you gotta throw me under the bus like that? He's probably watching this. Wildwood it is. I actually just stitched up some for him. Yeah, there's actually some Wildwood covers in this box right over here.
Very nice.
Yeah, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I don't know if you buy your own head covers, but what has been your favorite pro shop purchase?
Hey, you're talking to the wrong guy. Man, I'm not big on new. It'll be a hat. What hat is it?
So many to choose from.
Purchase?
Did you buy anything on your trip, your Scotland trip, besides a whole bunch of
I did.
tweed?
I bought a Macrahanish sweatshirt, and that was kind of like the cherry pick there. It's like, what have I bought recently? It's the Macrahanish. I'd probably say that sweatshirt, and I'll say this: it's a Travis Matthews, which is it's pretty mainstream, and like poly stuff's not my thing, but I had to have it. It had the elbow patches on it. Travis Matthews is doing this stitched in elbow patch thing, and I've got all of my grandfather's old Pendletons that have like the suede elbow patches. I'm a sucker for them, so I was pretty smitten coming out of pocket $150 for it, which is just crazy for me to spend on a sweatshirt. I'm a bit of a yeah. I like buying $150 sweatshirts, but I did there. So yeah, that's what I'll go with.
There you go.
Macrahanish 2 for 2.
All right. Nice. All right. I'm curious, being someone that's been in the golf world for so long, what is one thing golfers should do?
I think you should be grateful for the time that you get to spend out there. That sounds so preachy. We talked about the importance of having fun and understanding that at the root of it, that's why you go out there every day. Another thing that I would recommend people do is read Bob Rotella's 10 rules for golf before playing every single time and say them out loud. And I would go one step further and say memorize them. It'll keep the game in perspective. You'll probably score better. I see a lot of very, very analytic golfers out there these days that are so wrapped up in carry distances and spin rates and trajectory percentages that they forgot the artistry that goes along with playing good golf. Or at least it's not as important as it used to be. And I think that listening to Bobby's 10 rules will maybe bring that back into perspective a little bit.
Yep. All right. Last question. Finish this sentence. The best part of golf is
the walk. Yeah. Traveling by foot.
Love it. Very nice, man. Well, Ross, tell us and tell everybody where they can go to find out and learn more about what you're doing.
Ooh. I wish I was better at Instagram, but it's what we got. At Rossco Golf, ROSSCO Golf. And then rosscogolf.com is where you can peruse my selection and buy things. And the website is getting better every day. And I haven't gotten all of the stuff that we've gotten back from Scotland up on it yet. But I tell you what I really like is our messages and phone calls. So if you guys have an idea of what you want and you want to talk about it with somebody who will listen to you, shoot me a message on Instagram and we can create exactly what you want.
That's perfect, man. Well, yeah, y'all are doing it right. You are doing it right. and we're really excited about what you're building. It's pretty cool. So we thank you for waking up early and taking time to join us today to talk about this stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to see you through the phone. I can't wait to see you again in person, Robbie.
Yes, sir. Well, for Ross and Jonathan, this is Robbie, and this has been another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.